Today I'm going to show you how to make your images pop with just a couple of simple clicks. Alright, so I have a problem with my images that I had no idea I had, and that is they just don't have pop. All right, I've been getting this feedback for quite some time from other photographers at some of the classes that I've taught and everything, and I just didn't understand really what it meant. But now I do, because I'm switching labs. I'm going with H&H in Kansas City, and I sent up some images to have printed, and one of them I'm going to show you here, Mohawk. And I told them, don't touch anything. Don't touch the saturation, don't touch the color, don't touch anything, because that's how I'm used to having my images printed. And so I sent it up there, and they're printing it, and Wayne's looking at it, and he's like, okay, give this more pop, give this more pop. So they kind of printed variations of it. And so I went up there last week, and I sat down with them, and I looked at it, and at first I was a little upset. I was like, this isn't what I asked for. But then as I sat there and looked at it, I'm like, I really like this. And this is what I've been needing to do as I kept thinking about it. And so the problem is I don't know enough about color. I didn't really know what to do. So I got back to Dallas, got on the computer box, and pulled up the YouTube, and wouldn't you know, Unmesh from Piximperfect had the perfect solution. All right, so I'm going to link to his video in the bio below. Go over and check it out. Definitely watch it. If you don't know Piximperfect and what they're doing over there, he is a Photoshop master. I mean, he knows everything about Photoshop, and he'll show you. Definitely go over and check out Unmesh over at Piximperfect. All right, so now before we get started on this tutorial, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, hit subscribe, and if you want to get more videos and get more in depth into my style of photography and compositing, go over to patreon.com/thecreativeportrait. And I have so much going on over there, and it's building. We're building that platform over there with more and more videos all the time. All right, so let's jump into Photoshop. I'm going to show you how to simply give this image a pop. But unlike what Unmesh showed over there, I had a problem that it was too much. All right, I wanted to pull it back. I wanted to taper it back just a little bit. So I'm going to show you one step further than what he was showing over on his video. I'm going to show you how to pull that back to get it just right. And then you can pop a layer mask on there and pull it back in different places, whatever you want. All right, so this gives you a lot of variability. So let's get into Photoshop. I'm going to show you that process. All right, so here we are in Photoshop, and this is my portrait composite called Campfire Drunk. It's a new portrait that I have just released. And I look at this and I like it, but I'm having difficulties with the blacks. They just look a little muddy to me. And so I'm going to show you a simple way that we can make those colors pop, and we can make this image pop just a little bit more with a couple of simple clicks. And so the very first thing is you want to make sure that your document is an sRGB color profile. And you can tell that by looking down here at this little space here. And it should tell you sRGB color profile. If you don't see this, because I usually don't have this showing, I usually have document sizes because I like to see the size of my file as I build up all my layers. Just simply come down here to the little arrow, and then you can hit document profile, and it'll tell you whether it's an sRGB or anything else. All right, so if it's not sRGB, that's a simple, easy fix here. So we'll just go to edit, and we are going to convert our profile, or convert to profile, and then we're going to go here to profile, and then we're just going to choose sRGB. And since ours already is, we don't have to worry about that. So now the simple way to make all this saturation, this image pop, is I'm going to come up here to edit, and I'm going to come down here to assign profile. And when I click on profile, it's already on an Adobe RGB. When I click that profile, boom, it just saturates the entire thing. So our blacks are really nice and black. Our highlights are really nice. It's a really nice deep saturation. I like how that looks. So we click on preview. So that's before, and that's after. Before, after. And let's come up here. Let's see if we can't zoom in here, because we can really see it on our guy here. So that is before. Looks good, but it's just a little bit desaturated, a little bit muddy. Boom, it pops with saturation. So that is how you simply, easily make your colors pop using a couple of clicks and assigning a different color profile. All right, so there's that. Now, I'm going to come over here to Mohawk, and I'm going to show you on Mohawk. Let's say I want to taper this back, all right? So it's too much. I want to taper it back just a little bit and kind of get a blend in between that highly saturated pop and the desaturated that I've already got. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and copy that layer. Here's what not to do. Let's go ahead and let's unlock this layer here so we can have both layers. All right, so let's come up here and do the same thing. So we'll go up to edit, we'll assign a profile, and we're going to hit our profile, and then boom. All right, so when we do that, the problem is that it affects both layers, and I can't taper it back. All right, even if I try to bring opacity down, the layer underneath is also has that effect on it. All right, so how do you create this where they don't both have that effect? So I'm going to go ahead and Control Z, go back. So now I'm back on my original color profile of sRGB. And what I'm going to do is I simply just want to convert that bottom layer to a smart object. And once it's a smart object, nothing you do will affect that layer. So let's go back up here to our assign profile, and we're going to hit our Adobe RGB, give it that nice pop. And now, when we look at both layers, we see that our converted smart object layer is still our desaturated layer, and our new layer, our rasterized layer, has that nice pop to it. So now I can go in here and I can either pull this back here and get somewhere in between that I like, or let's say I like everything here with the guys and myself, that saturation, everything here, I like that a lot. But let's say the yellow back here is just a little bit too much. I can add a layer mask on it, hit my brush tool, and I can come in here and just paint that saturation out using my brush. Simple, simple, easy peasy, and knock down some of that high saturation in the yellows. Too much yellow for me. All right, so we'll go in here and just do that and just knock that down. That's an easy way to knock down this effect in Photoshop so you can get the best of both worlds. All right, so there's how you make your image pop and then pull it back to that perfect point. All right, so again, Umesh over at Piximperfect, go check his video out. I have that in the link below. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, go over to my patreon.com/The Creative Portrait, and I'll see you next time on The Creative Portrait.